WWE Supershowdown 2020 has happened. I have not watched the full show, busy doing other things obviously, but I have so far watched 4 matches. So after the first 2 matches that I saw, man, they're just appeasing to the legends, or to the crowd, or maybe the legends wanted to put them over, I don't know, but the crowd seemed, I heard that they love the legends over in Saudi Arabia. But I watched 4 matches. One was Goldberg versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt, WWE Universal Championship. Another one was The Miz and John Morrison versus The New Day. And the third one was so I'm just thinking, that's all I know what it is. Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy versus that's their name, Street Profits. And the fourth match that I saw was the 6-man gauntlet match. It's a pretty average pretty average pay-per-view. Hey guys, the dogs are at me. My buddies. How you doing, Dusty? Hey boy. Hey guys, how are you? Nice day, eh? I'll walk my dog, will catch up. Usually don't even watch him anyway, just call out and he comes, but I know whereabouts he is. I know because that big field there's another big field there, and it's pretty plain to see except for when you get up there for the trees. And I'm going to go straight to the point. I'm going to start off with the matches where I was disappointed with the outcome. Just my own personal opinion, but again, the crowd was into it, so WWE's got to go with that, and a lot of noise on the internet. So maybe it's because these I don't know, maybe they just love the legends. But Goldberg versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt. I'm going to end off with the 2 that I liked the most. Goldberg is a legend. He's the man. He really is the man, But this is the modern generation. Now, if you brought back a hero that was just the man but hadn't been around for 5 years, awesome. But Goldberg was a full-time performer 20 years ago. Now I can understand that you can go and do and achieve things no matter what age it is. That's cool. It's just that Bray Wyatt has been in the WWE since 2012. He got given the title in 2017, where he held on to it for 1 month and it was taken off him. And it's at WrestleMania, but still 1 month. Then it wasn't until 2019. Hey buddy.
Hello.
Where he was given it back again, and it was at the Crown Jewel. And that was 4 months ago, so he's finally got a decent reign. 4 months, it's not too bad. I do think that he should have held on to it till WrestleMania, though, and he should have lost it to either Drew McIntyre to really put him over, because that's a really good story. And then there's also just someone of the modern era. Someone of the modern era that's been built up, because we know you may not have put a huge emphasis on them in the past month or so, but we've been, these guys might have been involved for 4 or 5 years, so even if not that big emphasis in the past couple of months, we still know the stories that's been developed around those characters. So yeah, I just think it should have been ended that way. I think it should have happened that way. some person of the modern era that's been built up, even built up strongly in the past few months, even though it's been around for a couple of years or something, or 5 years. Or you can have another situation where there's like, maybe the guy has been around 5 years and he's had a decent run but hasn't quite got to the title or anything like that, or has won it once but it's been 3 years or something like that since he's held it, and he's a face, and people can realise that, and then he finally gets his second reign by beating the Fiend Bray Wyatt at the WWE WrestleMania. So I was really disappointed, because I do think that Bray shouldn't have lost it that way. That's what I reckon there. Hello, how are you? Good to get the family out, eh? It's either a extended family group, or it's either a club, because probably one in every three was like mid-30s, mid-40s. Another one in every three was like a teenager, and then another one in every three was like primary school age. So I looked at good to see families having fun, or there's those who aren't related to you but you're connected because you're playing all the time, and then 10 years later and all the stuff, you're still hanging out, they're family too, just no blood connection. Well, even after a couple of years they're family, there's no blood connection, but there's a connection nonetheless through all your guys' hobbies and activities. Anyway, I was real disappointed with that Goldberg Fiend. I think it could have went down a lot better with a big baby face at this time, or someone who's never won the title, or someone that's been built up and only had one title reign. Hey? Yep, you can pet my dog. That's that, but that's what happened, so no good. But hey, I don't think that was Goldberg's call. I'm not sure, I don't know the guy as a person, but I'm sure that he wouldn't feel the need to win the title. He probably just wants to make a big stack of money, as well as be involved with the shows, which is what's expected, of course. So I think it was a WWE call. Oh well. The second match where I wasn't happy with the outcome was there's a 6-man gauntlet match. Now, the good thing about it is how The Undertaker won it by coming out as the last person. It would have been really bad if he was first and he fought off 4 or 5. The gauntlet match involved, The Undertaker came out number 6 and won it by within the space of a couple of minutes. Well, I saw the highlights of that match. Oh no, was it the highlights? Well, it was 20 minutes including the entrances. So yeah, but the Undertaker was in it. He came out number 6. There's AJ Styles. There's a few others too. Bobby Lashley. Yeah, see, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, The Undertaker was the third one, and there was 3 other guys. But both Bobby Lashley and AJ Styles are prime guys to win it, and I think the saving grace of that one is that The Undertaker came out last. Now, it's just what I've heard on interviews, and I've just heard of other things. I don't know anything about leading up to this match in particular, but it seems like in the past, the Undertaker's always been keen to put other people over. The Undertaker's always been looking at the new generation, trying to help them out, So my opinion is the character Undertaker, he won it, but I think the person, Mark Calloway, would have, I think, I could be wrong, I think he would have preferred to put the others over. Him being the legend that he is, doing the whole streak and WrestleMania and for about 15 years, No, actually 15 years. He was there every single week, no rest. Every single show. And they don't perform once a week, they perform pretty much once a month, once a night, once a day. So he was ongoing. And the next 5 years after that, he was on and off, probably about 6 or 7 months a year on, or 8 months a year on actually, about 4 months off. And then from 2010 onwards, he's been coming and going as he pleases because he's earned the right to do that. And I honestly think that he would have wanted to put the other guys over. I honestly think that. Actually, I've seen 5 matches. So, now we're going to go into 3 good results. Well, results that I'm satisfied with, you know. Yeah, other people might say this is fantastic results, so therefore, hey, that's the thing that WWE got to do. So we had 2 results that I'm not in favour for. But then we have 3 results. Yep, I was in favour for these ones. First one, I know that Ricochet is a great talent and he flies around and everything like that. He really is, but I'm glad that when he went up against Brock Lesnar, okay, it could have been put on for a bit longer. I reckon it should have went for 10 minutes. But I do think it is a good thing that Brock Lesnar had a convincing win. Because let's face it, in real life, remember they're portraying skilled fighters, a skilled, trained fighter who's been fighting for years and is a skilled, trained fighter in everything he does, and is a huge person, will beat a skilled, trained fighter who's trained at what he's doing, who's half his size. That's why they have a cruiserweight championship. That's why they have a cruiserweight division. Now, if someone wasn't trained, which is not what they're portraying in WWE, if someone wasn't trained and someone had no experience and they were big, then yeah, I reckon the really trained small guy would win. But that's not what they're portraying. They got a guy who's an actual fighter, who's a former UFC champion, you know, won the NCAA American Wrestling Championship thing, going up against a guy who's half his size. And we don't know. I don't know about it in real life, but to what I'm aware of, Ricochet hasn't actually done any real fighting. So, but he might have. I'm just not aware of it. Hey, buddy. So, again, I could be wrong, but if I'm right about that, that was the greatest result for that match. Again, it could be for 10 minutes to make it a bit more flamboyant, but in real life he wouldn't last 10 minutes against Brock Lesnar. He'd be put down after a couple of minutes if he's lucky in a real fight, just because of the sheer size. You know, the beast. Brock Lesnar. There's Paul Heyman. It's not someone I'd want to come across in the ring, that's for sure. I think it was choreographed and they made this big payment for him that it could make it look like I gave him a good going, like 20 minutes or something, but not in a real fight, no way. So why would they do that? But anyway, whatever. I'm not a Ricochet because I'm like 6'2" and I keep in shape, 110 kilos, and going back to wrestling training because I had 2 months off because I know there's no cushioning. There's no cushioning on the ground like this, and I fell off 3 meters off a ladder down onto the ground, but luckily I landed how they teach us how to bump in wrestling and how they used to teach us how to land in martial arts. You know, it's the same, you know, bang. And big strong person, so I think that's why I was like, after the first week I was not feeling any pain, but I was just really stiff. First couple of days I was feeling pain, obviously couldn't barely move. Try and move this side, one side of my body, you know. And after a couple of weeks, and then they said no, get that stiffness away, and then there was another stiffness. Was gone after another week. So that's about 2 or 3 weeks off. And back to work, and I was planning to be in Vietnam now. Then the coronavirus broke out, so they were allowing, the government was saying stay in New Zealand, blah blah blah, but they were allowing us to. So when I say allow us, the company I was going to work for has got people who help out with the visas. They've allowed me to put off my postpone until the end of May 25th, so it's 3 months away. So let's hope the coronavirus has died down by then. Anyway, good result, Brock Lesnar versus Ricochet. We got 2 more. We got Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy versus the Street Profits. That was a good result. I like the character that they're portraying in Seth Rollins, the perfect heel. Like, he's the perfect heel, but at the same time, in my opinion, I can understand, because, like, as I said before, I was like getting along with all these people, and as soon as I started changing my beliefs and stuff, and then they wanted to keep these reasons as to why they were failing, and that's they were victims. And I said, look, I don't want to have these reasons anymore, and I've changed my beliefs and things like that, and I'm not gonna let those excuses hold me down, or let that perspective hold me down, because it doesn't work for me anymore. And I started, I'm just hanging in. It works so I can get off and get this bigger paying job, where your average person over in Vietnam gets $180 a month. I'm gonna be given $1,500 New Zealand money. So that is New Zealand money when we put it into American, if just in case there's any Americans or wrestlers watching, you never know. Hi guys, bless you all. What is it? $90, I know this something. $90 US, it's 150 in New Zealand. So if we give 150 New Zealand dollars, translate it into American, that's $90. So over in Vietnam, I'll be getting $180 a month as their average wage for their average, everyday worker. I'll be getting $1,500 a month, and the prices are so small, so I'm going to be making a big living over there. And hostel with my own private room with like TV and all that type of things. They showed a video of it. What else is it? I have wrestling contacts over in Vietnam, so it's not that big over there percentage wise, but because of the population over there, I'm pretty sure they can draw a crowd to fill a building because the population is so huge. What's this got to do with anything? Everyone was here. I know that Seth Rollins was he was arrogant when he was with the authority. In real life, they're all friends anyway, the authority and all that. And I heard that Triple H is a really nice guy in real life. He's tough, but he's tough, but at the same time, he's a good-hearted person. And he is there. He has gone back to that arrogant, conceited character, but you can see why with the amount of oh my gosh, come on, he's running. See, look, who's that good boy? Good boy, Gussie. Yeah, just a comment to the fans and how they're booing him and all that. Again, there's a pro and con to everything. The fans want to cheer people who they can relate to, and that's really, really, really cool to be able to relate to someone and stuff. But in real life, you have people that are just getting ahead or going up other new levels, and I don't think it's a good idea to go around booing people for that, treating them or talking down to them and stuff. And I know in real life, Seth Rollins wouldn't be, being talked down to and all stuff. I don't know, but he wouldn't take it personal because he knows it's a show. I don't know if he's basing his character off an overextension of certain aspects of himself, or whether he's really portraying something really well. But he knows it's a show. Some fans are pretty out there, but I'm not a fan of talking down or booing or whatever people because they're succeeding. I know that they might be way more successful than you, but if they're not being arrogant and they're not talking down to you and they're not trashing you, you should actually celebrate them. Because here's the thing. Well, you may not go celebrate Seth Rollins and stuff, but when the guy comes out, you should actually just applaud him, or maybe say send some positive messages because he's doing a good job. Because running around with a victim mentality will never help anybody. It won't help you. It won't help anybody. And you may not find out what your strengths are until you're in your 30s, but the fact is that doesn't change anything. The fact that doesn't change that you took that long to figure them out so you can hone on them and become the best is what you can be, what you're good at. Obviously it really helps if you're 18, but hey, it doesn't change anything. I figured it out for me when I figured out certain aspects when I was around that age, but didn't really figure out the whole thing until I was in my late 20s. Now I'm 31. So I've been developing those areas for the past 3 or 4 years. Others know it in their teens, so there's no point beating down or talking down to people like that. So I could understand why a character, I know that he doesn't care about what the fans think, but that character would be getting aggressive towards the fans because, hey, I've been busting my ass day in, day out. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
You having a great day?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. I'm just taking a dog for a walk before I head off to the movies tonight. Birds of prey. Yeah, I'm really good. I do my best with my money, and I've tried to pay off. I try to stay out of debt, but then there was this thing like for about 2 or 3 years straight, I didn't get any benefit because I was working the whole year, and then the next year, which was last year, I was on the benefit for 2 months because of just situation, Didn't want to go back to this old job that I had for about 3 years. And I was looking for work and I ended up getting more work. But on that 2 months I ended up, something that did happen was I needed some dental care. So they said, oh, you've worked too much over the past recent years. The recent 4 or 5 years you've worked way too much to receive any health care. So we're not going to give it to you. But I was like, I really need this health care. And they said, well, we'll do it for you and then you can pay us back. And I totally forgot about it. Because once I got a job, I was just like, yeah, let's keep that $10 coming out a week. I know I owe you over $600, but $10. That was last year. And because of the situation, thinking I was going to be in Vietnam now, and it's going to be a couple of months away, ended up just paying off that debt. And at the same time, I had to have my car done to keep going to work. That costed just under $600, so I powered back those 2 debts. And as a result, I'm rewarding myself going to 2 movies. There's a Birds of Prey, which is a movie based upon Harley Quinn. Joker is, if you didn't know, he's my favourite villain of all time because he's a real asshole and he's really intelligent. But here's the thing, he's the most relatable villain to me, and that's what makes a villain so great, is if you can relate to them, you can see how they turn that way, and it's a bit of compassion, but at the same time, you just know that they're evil. And the Joker is a mental health patient who was beaten up by his mother, so he thought, so we'll get back to that. Turns out that his mother that he thought was his mother wasn't his mother, so he never knew his mother, never knew his dad. and he never fitted in anywhere, and he got beaten up at, throughout his childhood, all that type of thing, and he had no friends. No one showed him any love, and he was a mental health patient, and they didn't do much favours for him. So as a result of all this, he became the Joker. As for me, I don't really get along with my dad, but I get along quite well with my mum. My dad never, he gave me a few whack-arounds, like 2 or 3 times, but it wasn't regular. I didn't fit in at school, didn't fit in anywhere, had mental health problems, and then I figured out methods of how to overcome all that. That's where I'm at now. That's why I can relate to the Joker. Because a couple of times, a few times when I was younger, the bullies lashed out at me physically, so I dealt to them because all the rage came out. Anyway, that lady brought it up. There's a reward to myself by buying a ticket to the movies to go see that Harley Quinn movie tonight. And tomorrow, The Legend of Baron Tor. That's I don't know if it's New Zealand made, Samoan made, but Samoans is one of the ethnic groups that is here in New Zealand, and they were in America and all that too. They made a movie based upon it. It's a real story, or if they just made it up as a wrestling movie. It's a wrestling movie, and it's got wrestling fight scenes and stuff. Anyway, sorry about going on that blah blah blah. Back on track. Here's the thing. I like the character Seth Rollins now. He's got that going on, but at the same time I like him because that's the reason why he is like that. And he just so happened to knew what his strengths were when he was young, and he worked hard on them, and he developed them, and he probably knew them about 10 years younger than what I knew mine in my late 20s. He probably knew them in his teenage years and milked them and got on them. I'm not going to walk around like a victim blaming others for where I'm at. Weaklings. Congrats, Seth. You don't have a laugh. I know that, I'm willing to look past the whatever it is, and just suspend my belief to enjoy the show. And they're just talented. And Buddy Murphy, a great, talented, up-and-coming cruiserweight guy who's flying around, but at the same time, he has got a bit of a size, so he's just under the weight, but he's got good technical skills in the ring and stuff like that. And I just think they're better than Street Profits, so well done, guys. Good choice, WWE. There's 2 good choices. One final match that I'm going to bring up here. I haven't seen any of the others, but not too keen on any of those. But unless I see that, there's something I like, there might be women's match or something. He's got Becky Lynch or Bayley or someone like Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, and different things. But I haven't seen it, so I checked out the match card. It's just I knew those 3 matches were happening, and I just happened to bump into the I knew about the Brock Lesnar and the Brock Lesnar and the match and the Fiend match, and I knew about the that AOP, Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy match, and then just bumped into the other 2. Another one, the last one, is John Morrison and The Miz versus The New Day, with John Morrison and The Miz walking out. They're both awesome tag teams. In the Ruthless Aggression era, I reckon that there's like 3 tag teams that stick out the most, and they came from the Attitude Era, and they kept going, and that's the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, and the Christian and Edge. And then they splitted and all this type of thing. And there was like another 3 or 4 teams that weren't established like them, but they were awesome and they're talented, and they came together. And and John Morrison was in 2 of them, and The Miz was in one. One was The Miz and John Morrison. I forgot what they called themselves. Sorry. But they did the dirt sheet. And another one was the world's greatest tag team with Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. Yep, there was those 2, and Eminem. There's the other one with Johnny Nitro, John Morrison in it, and there was a couple others. So it was just a really good match of these guys who were still quite in their prime, not like absolutely in the prime, John Morrison and The Miz, but they're still like high quality performers, like not just living off their name and living off what they've done in the past. They can still put on amazing feats of strength and stuff like that now, and makes of feats of just athletic ability and captivating storylines. That's both The Miz and John Morrison and the New Day, but the New Day are in their prime physically. New Day rocks! I saw that, Big E. You're a cracker. I know you enjoy the show and just having a great time. And you, the person, probably doesn't really care about the tag team championship, but your character does, so you have to portray it. So John Morrison and The Miz, they were given the victory over the New Day, and I think it could have went either way, because both teams are... See, John Morrison and The Miz, that's an old school team, but they're not like old school to the point of disbelief where it's like 20 years old. Like, both of those guys have been performing and won multiple championships throughout different companies. The Miz has won multiple championships in the WWE, but only a one-time big one. But United States champion a couple of times, 5-time Intercontinental champion, multi-time tag team champion, so, and he's performing week in, week out now, or night in, night out, And so yeah, it's not like a big suspending of disbelief just because they're a bit older. And then you have the New Day. They got Kofi Kingston, he's been around. And it could have went either way, It could have went either way as far as characters went, as far as match skill, ability, and storyline telling. And I think The Miz is better than the others when it comes to promos. But yeah, it could have gone either way, and I would have taken it. So I'm happy with that result. Miz and John Morrison taking it out. I would have been happy with the New Day too. And that's my take on WWE Super Showdown, the 5 matches that I've seen. I may watch some, probably just search up the match card to see if there's any other matches I'd want to take a look at, and if there wasn't, then I won't. But I have a feeling, and I just thought about it. I had a feeling there'll be a Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler one on there, and if there is, I'm down to watch that. And character-wise, it's pretty. Entrance-wise and promo-wise, I think both Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch are equal to each other, in my opinion.